columnist and great friend Ann Coulter. I want us to talk about using drones to kill American traitors overseas. Where was Barack Obama the night of the Benghazi ambush? What's wrong with waterboarding? Have you seen Zero Dark 30? I've actually seen it twice and loved it. Joining now, aforementioned Ann Coulter, author of Mugged and Waiting in the Wings, Democratic political analyst Hannah and Peter Suderman, Reason Magazine's senior editor. All right, Ann, welcome back. Great to see you. So this guy Brennan goes up in the Senate Intelligence Committee and defends the drone program. If you're an American citizen, but you turn traitor and you become an enemy combatant, why shouldn't this head be blown off by a drone? You have a problem with that?
No, I don't, but I don't have a problem with waterboarding. I would think the people who don't want non-American citizens who have been captured on the battlefield to have their heads dunked in water would be a little testier about this drone program. I mean, it's just amazing how the media covers these things. I mean, they would be screaming bloody murder if this were Bush, though I guess I'm perfectly happy if Obama's doing it and they aren't, because I'm for it.
It's a good thing. I mean, I actually want to give Obama credit for this. I want to give his CIA credit for this. Brennan's right. So what if you're an American? If you do bad things, if you're part of an imminent violent threat to America in Sudan or wherever you're going to be, go ahead, take him out. The intel's probably right, Ann. Why is it? I mean, this is a weird one. Conservatives are screaming about this. Liberals are screaming about this. Only a few smart diehards like yourself and I guess me are defending this. Why is that?
Well, I haven't been reviewing the conservative press on this, but my guess is what they're screaming about is what I was just mentioning. You know, the crickets that we're hearing from the left when you know, not giving the little darlings their favorite meals at Guantanamo used to send the ACLU screaming torture. So I think it's more the double standard and not that the military and the CIA have come up with a way to kill terrorists without putting American lives at risk. I mean, it's perfect.
Hannah, this is the odd part about the Brennan story, okay? I praise Brennan for this drone thing. I praise President Obama for this drone thing. But the odd thing is what Ann mentioned, basically. How can you be in favor of drones bombing American traitors overseas, be in favor of that, good stuff, and yet sort of take this namby-pamby position that waterboarding is a bad thing? We know darn well that waterboarding helped us find and kill Osama bin Laden. Why is Brennan supported waterboarding a few years ago and he's backed off? Why is that?
Right, he's certainly evolved. These aren't very simple questions, and the answers to them are very complex. Look, I know that Ann is upset that there are crickets, and I'll stop. You know, I'll interrupt those crickets with, you know, expressing what a lot of my friends on the left are concerned about. So yes, while drones are in fact an effective and efficient way to prosecute the war on terror and are mighty successful in the short term, we're spending $2.5 billion in Pakistan alone in public diplomacy effort, trying to win hearts and minds of the Pakistani citizens. This is one of the most anti-American countries on the face of the earth. And so when we prosecute a war using drone warfare, don't tell them about it for 2 years. This is, as you remember, this was very confidential and now is only becoming more public as the Obama administration
Why do we have to tell Pakistan? They don't deserve anything.
Well, they
know. They deserve to know. They tried to hide Osama bin Laden. They put the doctor away in prison, the guy that helped us out. Well, who cares about Pakistan in this sense?
They know. They see the damage that's happening. They see the collateral damage when it occurs. So they know, and we're losing a little bit of credibility here. And why it's important, Larry, is also because there's a Pakistani company now that was reported in December that's developing drones themselves. So absolutely, America is on the sort of cutting edge of this technology, but we're also setting the stage for the future of warfare in a way where hostile countries are going to eventually get this technology.
Peter Suderman, you are not in favor of this drone thing. Why not?
I am not. It's not just, you know, I'll say it's not just America that's losing credibility here. It is President Obama. You go back and look at what President Obama said before he was elected president. He filled out a survey on executive power, and one of the things he said was he did not believe that President Bush had the power to detain American citizens without charges. Well, apparently, he now believes that he has power to kill American citizens without charges.
Well,
this is crazy.
At least he got it half right.
Well,
At least you got
to
it
be
halfway.
fair, though, Larry,
I got to say,
the president now has access.
I'm with Obama on this. I really am. And I'm with Obama. Whether that makes me a con or a neo-con or whatever it is, I think they're wrong about waterboarding. But notice, Ann, Guantanamo is still open. I think Obama has learned a thing or two.
Yes, I wish he would learn a few more things, and that is to get, actually I think it's Mark's concern about winning the hearts and minds of Pakistanis. I don't think I'd spend a lot of time and effort on that. You know, this is part of the reason I'm enthusiastically supporting the sequester. I think there's plenty we can cut from the Defense Department, including pulling out of this pointless, endless rebuilding of Afghanistan. I mean, it was one thing to go in and take out al-Qaeda and take out the Taliban. What on earth are we doing over there? Why do we care about the hearts and minds or building the schools? I mean, outside of Osama bin Laden going to Afghanistan and tricking the Taliban into this spectacular attack on America, in general, the Muslims in Afghanistan, like the ones in Indonesia, have not exported terrorism. That's been the specialty of other countries. They really just want to be left alone. So why don't we just leave them alone? As long as they're not plotting an attack on us, what is the point?
Just quickly before we go out, you're all come back. Michelle Flournoy, former Obama Undersecretary of Defense, just laid out calmly 4 or 5 great ways to reduce the Pentagon budget, including getting out of Afghanistan, taking the civilian population in the DOD down because we're leaving Afghanistan. I thought it was pretty good, Ann. I mean, somebody ought to listen to her.
Yes, I agree, and I'm glad you brought up with her the base closings. I mean, this is why you need something like a sequester. These poor politicians, and I really do mean that, because the American people are of two minds. They simultaneously think government should be smaller overall. They think government does too much. They want government to cut spending. But the second you name a specific program that's going to be cut, they're against it. So it's not just the politicians are, you know, two-timing liars and will never cut spending. The American people don't ever want them to cut spending. I love the sequester because it just forces cuts across the board.
Absolutely, man. Sequester, drone bombing. I'm having a good day. Everybody stay put. We got much more work to do. Ann Coulter's going to stay with us, talk Benghazi. We learned some really disturbing new things today from former Defense Secretary Leon Panetta. Not good. I'm Kudlow. We'll be right back.